Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back to you with another huge dirt biker video. This video, we are going to finally do the test we've been meaning to do. It is Daisy versus Loretta, Carb versus TBI, PDS versus linkage, and this is a bonus video for you guys. It's getting it's gonna be a ton of information here because we're also testing the XTNG carburetor for the very first time. It is the metering rod carburetor with a pilot circuit. If you guys haven't watched the install video and first ride, check that out up here. If I remember to put it, if I don't, just go search for it. But anyway, got it on there. Easy to adjust, easy to install. Felt good going up and down the road. I don't know what that means. All that means is it's not terrible, right? So we were just going up and down the road. But today we're going to be testing that. If that sounds like a good video to watch, if you're excited about watching all that happen, stick with us. Here we go. All right, guys, we are going to start on Daisy today. We're going to go and do my test loop on Daisy and talk about the carburetor. Really, that's all we're going to talk about because I mean, I've talked all about the suspension and everything else on this bike. It's very closely set up to the new bike, but obviously it's a PDS, obviously it's carbureted, and it's old. It's got over 500 hours on it, but it's actually in great shape and runs really good. So we are going to take it on the test loop to kind of get familiar with it again. I haven't ridden this bike much since I got the new one. So we're gonna take it on the test loop, talk a little bit about that. Then we're gonna come back here. Then we're gonna get on the new bike and we're gonna put a legit like heater in on the test loop and see where we sit time-wise. Then we're gonna come back and put a heater in on Daisy on the test loop and see how that is. And then we'll talk about differences and all that good stuff. Here we go. All right, guys, you know Daisy. If you've been around this channel very long at all, you know how much I like this motorcycle. I know I've been neglecting her because of the new bike, but you know, that happens. But we're back. We're gonna get after it today. Now, quick talk about this bike. It is a 2018 300 XCW, started life as a 250 XCW. We are running the XTNG carburetor, which is the Hong Kong metering rod carburetor with a pilot circuit. Now, I've tuned it a little bit at the shop. I'm really hoping that's gonna be all I need to do. If not, you know, whatever, we'll tune it on the trail because that's the cool thing. One of the things I like about this carburetor is that everything is externally adjustable. So metering rod's externally adjustable, the pilot circuit's externally adjustable, and the power jet's externally adjustable. So we can pretty much tune from 0 throttle to wide open throttle on the trail and get it dialed in. Now, I am not the guy who believes that metering rod carbs are, you know, the end all be all for being able to ride at every elevation without any issues. I don't believe that. It's not really true. I feel like most of them get away with having it be lean, but then the power jet makes up for it when you twist it wide open so you don't blow anything up. And I think you suffer performance that way, but that's my personal belief. Anyway, I do think you need to adjust them, but the cool thing is this one is adjustable. So also like the fact that it's got the choke on the correct side, which is the left side. That up. Oh, turn the gas on, I guess. Guys, I am running my external mic, so hopefully that this sounds good to you. Now, you guys know this loop that I'm gonna do. You should know very well if you've been with the channel very long. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite loops because it involves a little bit of everything, from rocks to fast stuff to kind of faster rocky stuff. Some kind of not really trialsy stuff, but a little more technical stuff. So I'm a big fan of it. I like it a lot. And I feel like it's a good test for a bike because it really, whether it be the carburetor, suspension, anyway, it's got all of it. So I'm gonna putt over to the start of it, get this thing warmed up. Now, I'm not going to talk about the differences between this bike and the other bike yet. Don't worry, that's coming in this video, but that's going to happen after we do some fast laps on it. Oh man, this bike is really good. All right, guys, here we're at the start of Eagle. I'm going to pull down in here and make my first adjustment. I feel like might be a little rich on the bottom. As you can see, just this screw right here, I turned it in half. All right, this will be a good first test of this carburetor down low RPM. How's it going, guys? All right, guys, it still feels a little rich. Gonna go another half turn in. All right, so far I think I'm really happy with it, especially the ability to adjust it. Like if I had put way too rich a pilot jet in it at the shop, then I would have been in trouble. Well, not in trouble, I would just had to ride it or pull over, open the float bowl, do all that stuff, which again isn't the end of the world when you're just starting to tune a bike and getting it all dialed in. But I gotta be honest, it's pretty nice. That has gotten rough. All right, guys, so that is all the uphill on this trail. This is the Sunset Rocks trail. I really like this trail because it's fast enough that you can really test suspension and hit things pretty hard, you know, and like see what it's gonna do when you actually hit things hard. The problem with hard enduro is that you're never hitting things really hard unless you're like, I guess, jumping off a big ledge. That would be the equivalent. But, you know, you're not going fast into things. At least I'm not. Maybe you guys are. But so I like this trail for testing suspension. I also like it for the testing the carburetor because it there's enough on off the gas to test response and all that. And honestly, I'm super happy right now. This carburetor works really good. I don't think it's, like, so far, I don't think it's any better than my Kean that I had on there. As it's a 38 millimeter, the Kean was a 36, and even as a 38, it feels like it's got a lot of low. So whatever the design of the Venturi is still drawing a lot of gas and accelerating the charge really well, because that's the difference, right, between the 38 to 36. 38 allows more air in, so you can get better top end range, you know, over rev and stuff like that. Whereas a 36 accelerates the air through a smaller Venturi, making more bottom end, and usually less top end. So I think this might be kind of the best of both worlds. I know that Kelsey from RK Tech is going to yell at me for even running this carburetor. I'm here to test things for you guys. You know, Kelsey makes the most amazing heads ever. This has a head, an RK Tech head on it, so does the new bike. But I like to test things and I like to get the truth. And so far the truth is this thing feels great. So Now we're gonna check and see how it does loading, if it loads up going downhill. There's a long downhill rocky section coming up before it opens up into the fast stuff. So we'll stop at the end of the rocky stuff, talk a little bit about how it felt going down the steep stuff, see if it stalls or anything like that, and then we'll hold her wide open out in the Adobes and see how that does. Right on. So it was downhill, but it wasn't as steep a downhill as like probably what some of you guys were expecting. I apologize for that. I know a lot of you guys really ride really hard stuff that it requires to be like clutch in off the gas for, you know, 30 seconds to a minute or maybe longer, you know. It was not that. I didn't have that. I do have a trail out here that does that, and maybe we'll go do that later, but, or maybe let's go do it right now. Take a little break from this loop. And we'll go ride up Horse Trail and back down it. Let's just go see how this does there. All right, this is for you guys, because if you've watched this channel enough, you know that this trail is kind of my nemesis. I'm gonna take it easy going up. Just try to get it as clean as possible. Sorry, guys. Well, that was ugly. Man, I struggled, but I got the first part went well, and it kind of came apart, and most of that was me. But I don't know if you guys heard, the bike definitely loaded up, like pretty bad. Loaded up when I got stuck up in that hard stuff. And I think that has to do with the fact that there is no external vent, or no external vent, and also no external overflow. We'll see how it does going down this. And yeah, that was not pretty. All right, guys, I can already tell this really steep stuff, it does load up. And there we go, it just stalled. That isn't super awesome. My word to XTNG about that is maybe don't copy that part of smart carb and electrons. An external vent, or at least overflow, would be real handy. We'll see how loaded up it is when we get to the bottom. I bet it's gonna be a lot. Oh yeah. All right, we're back on the test loop. So see, I died. It wasn't doing that before. That is definitely weird, guys. There we go. Maybe we're finding a problem with it. Well, that sucks because I'm way out here now. Well, not that far, but I don't want to walk.
let's finish this up and see how it does with more wide open. I know I said I was going to go get the new bike out and do the fast run first on it, but I think a couple things. First of all, I don't want to unload, load, whatever, because it's not going to leave them out here. But also, I want to give this girl a fighting chance and just ride it back to back. Quick note, I put 2 clicks richer on the metering rod. Here we go, guys. See if we can't go kind of fast here. Ready, set, go. Not super clean or in the right gear. Tell you what, guys, this suspension currently feels like it really shines in this rubber stuff. We'll see how the other one is riding back to back. All right, 1941. That's pretty quick. I feel like I had one of the 18s before, guys, so it's definitely gotten a lot worse since the old one. So no worries though. Today we're out here to test this against the other one. So let's go over and get the other bike. Now we got Loretta out. All right, guys. Again, if you're new here, this is the 2023 300XC, named Loretta after the late great Loretta Lynn. Got 33 hours on it right now. It is suspension is tuned by TBT, us. We are a TBT shop here at Highland Cycles. The head is a RK Tech head from Kelsey, one of the earlier ones he made for this bike, probably actually the very first one he made for this bike. I like it really a lot. Yeah, just a quick comparison so you know that it's not super, other than just a completely different motorcycle. The W is also TBT suspended and RK Tech head and tires. That's what I wanted to touch on. That bike had, or has, the 18300 has Michelin Starcross 6 soft mediums, mid-soft, whatever. Honestly, it's not my favorite tire as far as grip. This one's got an X31 up front, pretty worn out, not horrible, but lots of hours on it, and back is V-Moto. So that is something, I just couldn't afford to put brand new tires on everything, so sorry about that. Clean it out. Oh man! Didn't need to make that up. That was terrible. That was slower. I botched that. $19.30. Whew. All right. Let's go talk about them.
All right, guys. There we go. You know, basically 10 seconds faster on the new bike right over there, Loretta, on that same loop. 10 seconds faster than Daisy. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but if you're racing that lap, like let's say, you know, 6 times, that's a full minute faster over the race. Also, I can say that the suspension on Daisy is definitely better in that real chundery rock right now. This suspension is really, really good, but it's just not as good in that real choppy rock stuff as the spring fork. That's all there is to it. Now, do you have to go out and get spring conversions? No, absolutely not. The air stuff is working good with the revalve. I really like it, especially when you're charging really hard. It seems to do better. It's got a lot more feedback in it, and it's not necessarily bad feedback. It's just feedback. It doesn't do anything weird. It doesn't bite you. It's not dangerous. It's not any of that stuff. It's really good, but it definitely is, I don't know. It takes a lot more to ride that bike. Also, I ran that bike in the green map, and there's no doubt in my mind that that's making literally more horsepower than this other bike. Like, not just feels different or different delivery, it's more horsepower. It's definitely more to hang on to. I think, honestly, if I was going to race that kind of stuff, I'd put it in the white map, because that is just a lot to hold on to. Whereas this one was running, you know, really good. I don't like the way it loads up the XTNG carb. I'm going to have to fiddle with the float level and see if I can't get that sorted out, because it does tend to load up in the real bouncy or real steep up or real steep down. So I don't like that about it. I'd like to see an external vent. Now that would, or excuse me, an external overflow, which would make the mileage maybe go down to what a normal carburetor would be, or maybe it's the same anyway, because it would just burn it or dump it in the motor. Anyway, whatever. I think that would be better on that carburetor. But overall, it works good. I'm going to keep tuning on it. Make sure you subscribe, guys, because I'm not done. This is not the end-all, be-all test on the XTNG, because I want to fiddle with it a little bit more before I give my full opinion. But right now, I'd say it's good. It's definitely better response off the bottom than a Smart Carb or Electron because of that pilot circuit, but I don't like the way it loads up. So I don't like that at all. But when it was cleaned out and running, I think it was just as good as my Kian. So, or at least really, really close. So, and probably maybe a little more over rev with that, the 38 millimeter Venturi, and then also that power jet just dumping gas at it. So anyway, it's good. I like it a lot, but jury's still out on whether that's a good $400 to spend. As far as TBI versus Carb, guys, there's no comparison. That motorcycle, that engine, that fueling is better. That's all there is to it. Sorry. Sorry. All of you who wanted me to say that the carburetor was better, sorry, I'm not going to. And it's not just the XTNG. I mean, I rode that bike with the Kian lots and lots and lots. That is better in every way. It really, really is. The response is perfect. I don't experience it loading up going down hills because I don't engine brake as much. I mean, inevitably the motor's going to rev up some with the throttle off because, I pull the clutch in, but it's going to drag the motor up a little bit, but not like full-on engine braking. We just roll off and keep the clutch out. So I don't do that. I'm also used to cleaning carbs out, so kind of always, you probably hear that in the riding. So for me, it's not loading up. Also, quick note, BR7ES is definitely the plug to go with for that. My bike actually came with the 7 in it. I know the book calls for, and everybody else's bike seems to have an 8 in it, but mine had a 7 right from the factory. So that's why I kept in it and all that. So yeah, guys, there you go. And Punk Rock Club, you guys sticking around to the end here, you are the first to know about it. But when we hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a super rad giveaway. I'm going to fly someone out here to Colorado, or if they're already here in Colorado, we'll pay for their gas or whatever. And you're going to get to ride one of these bikes, and we're going to go riding. And it's going to include airfare, lodging, and 1 meal with me. So that's when we hit 20,000 subscribers, guys. So tell your friends. You got to be a subscriber to win. But tell your friends to subscribe, share this thing around so we can hit 20,000 and we can get one of you guys out here. I'm really excited about it. You guys are the first to hear about it. All right, I got to go. Get out there and pop some wheelies.